God murder Jesus to save us? What if God never required a death sacrifice? I know it sounds blasphemous, and let me give you some backstory. It took me 5 years to be able to even think about this more and to read about this, because yeah, it sounded blasphemous, but then it didn't. So I went to church for 25 years, almost every Sunday. I love Jesus. I've traveled the world. I have friends from all different backgrounds, and I've been inside many different buildings and communities that have various beliefs. I've lived with Catholics and Buddhists in Germany and Thailand. I love humans. Why did God murder Jesus to save us? Okay, so let me also just say that other than 25 years of church services, being in leadership roles in church and attending retreats and seminars, I also went to a Christian university for 4 years, and I graduated with a BA in Applied Linguistics and International Politics, Development Politics. I studied Biblical Greek in-depth classes of the Old Testament and New Testament. I've studied world religions, and I took a course from the Catholic Perception as well. I've spoken and preached in churches in different parts of the world. I've sat in many discussions and read many books, and most importantly, I've blatantly, authentically, and courageously loved Jesus since I remembered him when I was 6 years old and felt the sort of magic and love that is indescribable. Okay, so we got the qualified to speak part out of the way. So what if God never required a death sacrifice? The regular Christian belief is that the only reason Jesus came to earth was because we were such terrible people that we needed him to save us and be a sacrifice. Because the religion requires a death sacrifice. So he let himself be killed as a sacrifice so we wouldn't be sacrificed. Correct? The Jewish religion needs to sacrifice a spotless lamb to God to be killed. So Jesus played the role of the spotless lamb. Red flag alert. Why does your call require a death sacrifice? But the real God doesn't need a sacrifice, aka death, to appease him. But who does that sound like? Satan, perhaps, or an entity that loves things that take joy in life, that really likes to take life, that is really attracted to death, like a death cult. So let's leave that aside for a second. So what is a dirty sinner? What's a sinner? So we were told we're fundamentally bad and tainted, that we are unworthy, that we're powerless, and that we need a hero to save us. Did Jesus say that? Can you show me where? What does sin even mean? Well, it means like a separation from God or source of love, which is God. You want to use that word. I call this forgetting that we are love and come from love. Forgetting that we are love and come from love. So we are letting ourselves have less love for ourselves and for others. And when we allow less love into our being, we are more separated from God. But we are never really separated from the source of life, from God, because we are pieces of God, made in God's image. Some people say like fractals of source. So we can never actually be separated. We can't be separated. We're made in the image of God, if you want to use that language. We're made in the image of God. We can't. It's impossible to be separated. So just receiving and allowing less love into our lives, that is what I've started to call sin, as in not allowing that love. Do you see what I'm saying? So yes, I think there are invisible blocks that helped us remember less, like caused us to remember less, or believe something false that blocks more love. It's either from religion or culture or ideas we put together. There is a bunny booping my feet as I say this. Thank you, Lulu. I love you too. Put together as children or adults, things we learned from our family's pain and beliefs, and things that, maybe you don't like this word, but karmically were passed down to us from generations. Or maybe we were here before, and it was passed on from the life we had before. I'm still, that's taken me a long time to believe as well, but that is what I believe right now. Jesus wasn't going around to towns calling people dirtbags and sluts. He was saying, you are deeply loved. Remember who you are, dear one, powerful love. He was saying, you are dearly beloved and powerful. So how do we go from the love, authority, wonder, and possibility Yeshua, Jesus Christ, talked about, to shame, unworthiness, and forgetting we are the DNA of Creator made in his, her image? How do we go from made in the likeness of God, beloved, to dirty, unworthy sinner? Years of gaslighting and brainwashing and spells, perhaps? I know those words will trigger some people, but honestly, those who can see just see now. And some of us are seeing more. The things I know today, I didn't know 6 months ago, and many people already did know. So there's no shame in how we're all seeing at different times. Why did Jesus have to die? Was it to save us? So here's me thinking through things. His death made a big splash. I don't, I'm saying it in a light, kind of funny way, but it's important. His death made a big splash, and he showed how you cannot die and transcend. I don't believe that he died. I believe that he was holding on to his life force still, and he powered back up, so to speak. And if there wasn't this huge deal around his death, we may never have heard of him. So I'm thankful, nonetheless, naturally, of course. The media attention was needed. I'm glad I know about Jesus, Yeshua. But the reason the people felt he needed to die was for their death sacrifice of a beautiful human who knew his divinity. And because he was pissing off the religious people who didn't like that he was not following their rules about God, why is our culture obsessed with death and skulls? Why can we only go to heaven when we die? Why not now? Why not today? What if heaven and divine flow is something we can experience before death? What if life abundant was always the invitation? It took me the last 5 years to be able to even think about this more and read about this, because it sounded and felt so blasphemous. But isn't that what a good spell does? Make you not even want to ask questions or look into it more? Well, even the Chosen series showed Mary Magdalene in a cave writing things down. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? All of a sudden, a widely popular biblical TV show, which I have really enjoyed, is showing Mary writing things down. Like maybe she wrote a whole account of her time with the apostles and Jesus. Maybe she was an apostle or more. Gaslight the fuck out of humanity much? I'm just saying, like, what is going on here? So I want to talk about this and maybe even rage a bit about it, because imagine not knowing for over 35 years and having gone to church for 25 years, but I did go to church a little bit after that as well. Learning about the Bible every week your entire life and not knowing this, not seeing it yet. Okay, so, but even more so, I want to embody more and more of what Jesus was actually sharing with us, that we are powerful, sovereign, Christed beings, and we can do even more than Jesus was able to show the people of his day. He said that. He said, you will do even more than I have done. That always blew my mind. I was like, what are you talking about? How's it possible? I want to practice soaking in life-giving, dearly loved frequencies and remembering and practicing how I am like Great Spirit, just like Yeshua was, is. So, deep breath. Remembering is wild and beautiful. You are loved and you come from love. You are created for life abundant. We are remembering together. And I'll just end by saying, if you have been wanting to welcome in more light, joy, worthiness, creativity, and play, and are needing a space to do that safely with someone who knows the journey, loves Yeshua, and Mary Magdalene, still learning more, embodies these practices, and is a trusted and beloved space holder, I'm here with so much love.